Welcome to the Bible Quiz. In this video, join us as we delve into the compelling theme of tax collectors, featuring two prominent figures, Matthew the Apostle and Zacchaeus. In particular, we will explore the transformative journey of these tax collectors and the positive changes in their lives as they embrace and follow Jesus' teachings. In biblical narratives, tax collectors were seen as collaborators with oppressive regimes, profiting from the financial burden placed on the people. Therefore, often faced societal disdain and were regarded with skepticism by the general population. Therefore, the biblical narratives portray tax collectors like Zacchaeus and Matthew aim to highlight Jesus' redemption, forgiveness, and the potential for positive change, offering hope to those facing societal condemnation. Besides, they serve as a reminder of the possibility of personal transformation and the redemptive nature of faith. Now, embark on an engaging journey with us through 25 insightful questions about the lives of Matthew and Zacchaeus, exploring the impact of their encounters and the positive changes brought about by the redemptive power of Jesus. First, we explore Matthew's journey from tax collector to apostle, illustrating a profound transformation. Question 1. Who is generally accepted as the author of Matthew's Gospel? A. Matthew. B. Joseph. C. Peter. D. Paul. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Matthew. The authorship of the Gospel of Matthew is traditionally attributed to the Apostle Matthew, who was a tax collector before becoming a follower of Jesus. Question 2. In which city did Matthew meet Jesus? A. Jericho. B. Capernaum. C. Bethsaida. D. Bethany. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Capernaum. Matthew chapter 9, verse 5 to 28, and Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, asking for help, when he arrived at the other side in the region of the Gadarenes. According to these verses, Jesus encountered Matthew in Capernaum. Question 3. Where was Matthew sitting when Jesus called him? A. A tax booth. B. A fishing boat. C. A well. D. A palace. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Tax booth. Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. Matthew was sitting at a tax booth when Jesus called him. Question 4. How did Matthew become one of Jesus' disciples? A. By volunteering. B. By winning a contest. C. Through a recommendation. D. Jesus chose him. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Jesus chose him. Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," he told him. Jesus personally called Matthew while he was at his tax collector's booth. This direct invitation illustrates the intentional selection by Jesus, emphasizing the divine initiative in choosing individuals to become his disciples. Question 5. How did Matthew respond to Jesus' call? A. Ignored Jesus. B. Questioned Jesus. C. Refused Jesus. D. Immediately followed Jesus. You get 10 seconds. That's D. Immediately followed Jesus. Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. "Follow me," he told him, and Matthew got up and followed him. This quick and decisive action reflects Matthew's willingness to accept the call and become a disciple. Cherished friend, hit subscribe and stay tuned for more great and engaging content in the future. Question 6. Who joined Jesus and his disciples for dinner at Matthew's house? A. Pharisees. B. Tax collectors and fishermen. C. Tax collectors and sinners. D. Tax collectors and tent makers. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Tax collectors and sinners. Matthew chapter 9, verse 10. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. This event underscores the inclusive nature of Jesus' ministry and his willingness to engage with people from various backgrounds. Question 7. Who wondered why Jesus ate with tax collectors and sinners? A. Pharisees. B. Corinthians. C. Disciples. D. Prophets. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Pharisees. Matthew chapter 9, verse 11. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" The Pharisees expressed surprise and criticism over Jesus' choice to dine with tax collectors and sinners, reflecting their traditional views on social and religious purity. Question 8. What metaphor did Jesus use to explain his mission when responding to the Pharisees' question? A. Teacher and students. B. Doctor and patients. C. Gardener and plants. D. Shepherd and sheep. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Doctor and patients. Matthew chapter 9, verses 12 to 13. On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Jesus employs the metaphor of a doctor attending to the sick to explain his mission. This metaphor emphasizes his role as a spiritual healer, reaching out to those in need of repentance and redemption. Question 9. What quote did Jesus reference to emphasize mercy when responding to the Pharisees' question? A. The Lord is my shepherd. B. Blessed are the peacemakers. C. Love your neighbor as yourself. D. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. You get 10 seconds. That's D. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. Matthew chapter 9, verses 12 to 13. On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." This quote underscores the compassionate and inclusive nature of Jesus' mission, challenging the Pharisees' rigid interpretation of religious practices. Question 10. What significant event occurred during Matthew's early days as a disciple as mentioned in Matthew chapter 10? A. The Transfiguration. B. The Sermon on the Mount. C. The Calling of the 12. D. The Feeding of the 5,000. You get 10 seconds. That's C. The Calling of the 12. Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 to 4. Jesus called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. These are the names of the 12 apostles, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector. These verses recount Jesus calling and commissioning his 12 disciples, giving them authority for ministry. This event marks a significant moment in Matthew's early days as a disciple and sets the stage for their role in Jesus' mission. Question 11. What is another name for Matthew? A. Levi. B. Simon. C. John. D. Andrew. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Levi. Mark chapter 2, verse 14. As he walked along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," Jesus told him, and Levi got up and followed him. In the book of Mark, when Jesus called Matthew to follow him, Matthew was also referred to as Levi. This dual naming is significant because it connects the tax collector Matthew with the disciple Levi, illustrating his transformation from a tax collector to a follower of Jesus. Matthew's journey from a tax collector, often ostracized by society, to a dedicated apostle of Jesus, exemplifies the transformative power of faith and redemption. His immediate acceptance of Jesus' call signifies a deep-seated longing for spiritual change. As an author of a gospel, Matthew's life underscores that anyone, regardless of past, can find renewal through faith. Besides, the deliberate choice of Matthew, a tax collector, as one of Jesus' disciples underscores the inclusive nature of Christ's redemptive mission, reaching out to those society deemed unworthy. Next, with this theme of transformation and redemption, let's delve into the riddles of Zacchaeus, another tax collector. Question 12. Where did Zacchaeus meet Jesus? A. Bethsaida. B. Capernaum. C. Jericho. D. Bethany. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Jericho. Luke chapter 19, verse 1. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. Zacchaeus encountered Jesus in Jericho, expressing his curiosity to see Jesus despite the crowd hindrance. Question 13. What specific title was used to describe Zacchaeus' role as a tax collector? A. Chief. B. Staff. C. Assistant. D. Collaborator. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Chief. Luke chapter 19, verse 2. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. Zacchaeus is described as a chief tax collector, indicating his prominent position among tax collectors. This title underscores both his leadership role and the social stigma associated with tax collectors in the biblical narrative. Question 14. What was the obstacle preventing Zacchaeus from seeing Jesus? A. He was too busy. B. His eyesight was poor. C. He was poor. D. He was short. You get 10 seconds. That's D. He was short. Luke chapter 19, verse 3. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. Zacchaeus' desire to see Jesus was hindered by his short stature. Question 15. How did Zacchaeus try to see Jesus when he passed through Jericho? A. Used a ladder. B. Climbed a tree. C. Asked for help. D. Stood on a wall. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Climbed a tree. Luke chapter 19, verse 4. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. Zacchaeus, being short, took the initiative to climb a sycamore fig tree to overcome the crowd and get a better view of Jesus as he passed through Jericho. This demonstrates his eagerness to encounter Jesus despite physical obstacles. Question 16. What was the result of Zacchaeus' climbing tree action? A. He fell down. B. He stuck in the tree. C. Jesus noticed him. D. He was scolded by the crowd. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Jesus noticed him. Luke chapter 19, verse 5. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up. Zacchaeus' decision to climb the tree caught Jesus' attention. Question 17. What did Jesus say to Zacchaeus when he saw him? A. You are forgiven. B. Come down immediately. C. Stay away from here. D. Stay away from me. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Come down immediately. Luke chapter 19, verse 5. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. Jesus' statement goes beyond a casual encounter. It signifies Jesus intentionally entering into Zacchaeus' life. Question 18. Why did Jesus ask Zacchaeus to come down immediately? A. To scold him. B. To punish him. C. To challenge him. D. To come to his house. You get 10 seconds. That's D, to come to his house. Luke chapter 19, verse 5. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." By expressing the intention to stay at Zacchaeus' house, Jesus emphasizes a desire for genuine connection. Question 19. How did Zacchaeus respond to Jesus' call? A. He ignored him. B. He questioned him. C. He refused him. D. He immediately came down. You get 10 seconds. That's D. He immediately came down. Luke chapter 19, verse 6. So he came down at once. Zacchaeus promptly responded to Jesus' call, descending from the tree. Question 20. What was Zacchaeus' reaction when Jesus wanted to stay at his house? A. Afraid. B. Glad. C. Sad. D. Indifferent. You get 10 seconds. That's B. Glad. Luke chapter 19, verse 6. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. Zacchaeus responded to Jesus' desire to stay at his house with joy and gladness immediately. This action marked the beginning of a transformative encounter, illustrating the power of Christ's acceptance and grace to impact lives. Question 21. How did the Pharisees react when Jesus wanted to stay at Zacchaeus' house? A. They were happy. B. They praised Jesus. C. They criticized Jesus. D. They were indifferent. You get 10 seconds. That's C. They criticized Jesus. Luke chapter 19, verse 7. All the people saw this and began to mutter, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner." The Pharisees murmured, criticizing Jesus for associating with a tax collector, considered a sinner in society. This reflects the Pharisees' disapproval of Jesus' inclusive approach and challenges their rigid interpretation of righteousness. Question 22. What did Zacchaeus promise Jesus to give to the poor to respond to the people's muttering? A. Half of his possessions. B. All of his possessions. C. A small portion of his possessions. D. Nothing. You get 10 seconds. That's A. Half of his possessions. Luke chapter 19, verse 8. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor." Zacchaeus, responding to the criticism, promised to give half of his possessions to the poor. This demonstrates genuine repentance and a desire for restitution, illustrating the transformative impact of encountering Jesus. Question 23. How much did Zacchaeus pledge to pay back if he had cheated anybody? A. Twice the amount. B. 4 times the amount. C. 5 times the amount. D. 10 times the amount. You get 10 seconds. That's B, 4 times the amount. Luke chapter 19, verse 8. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount." Zacchaeus pledged to repay 4 times the amount to anyone he has wronged. One more time, this act reflects a commitment to restitution and demonstrating the depth of his repentance. Question 24. After Zacchaeus' declaration, what did Jesus say about salvation concerning Zacchaeus' house? A. Salvation never come. B. Salvation may come soon. C. Salvation has come today. D. Salvation will come tomorrow. You get 10 seconds. That's C. Salvation has come today. Luke chapter 19, verse 9. Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house." Jesus declares that salvation has come to Zacchaeus' house on that very day, affirming the transformative impact of Zacchaeus' repentance and commitment to restitution. Question 25. According to Jesus, why did salvation come to Zacchaeus' house? A. Because he was wealthy. B. Because he was a sinner. C. Because Jesus stayed in his house. D. Because he was a son of Abraham. You get 10 seconds. That's D, because Zacchaeus was a son of Abraham. Luke chapter 19, verse 9. Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham." Being a son of Abraham symbolizes spiritual lineage, indicating that Zacchaeus' transformation stems from his faith and righteousness, not merely external factors. This emphasizes the inclusive nature of salvation based on faith rather than social status or wealth. One more time, the narrative of Zacchaeus in the Bible is another powerful testament to the transformative impact of encountering Jesus. Zacchaeus' desire to see Jesus and his immediate response to Jesus' call demonstrated an inner longing for change. As a result of this encounter, Zacchaeus not only experienced personal redemption, but also became an agent of positive change in his community. The deliberate choice of Jesus to engage with someone like Zacchaeus underlines the inclusive nature of Christ's redemptive mission, extending grace even to those labeled as societal outcasts. Oh wow! We've just navigated a captivating exploration of the lives of Matthew and Zacchaeus through 25 intriguing questions. Now, it's your turn to share your experience. Comment below, let us know your score, and tell us about the profound lessons you've drawn from the transformative journeys of Matthew and Zacchaeus. Your insights are valuable, contributing to our collective understanding and inspiring others to embark on their reflective journeys. If you found this quiz enlightening, be a catalyst for understanding. Share this video with your friends and family, encouraging them to embark on this thought-provoking quiz. Let's create a ripple effect, fostering appreciation for the redemptive stories. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening adventure. Keep the conversation alive, keep sharing, and keep learning. Until our next exploration, stay curious and stay connected.